What's up? What's up, guys? Hold on a second. Let me get the go over here and get the live chat so I can post a link in the description. See what's going on here. There we are, right there. Here. All right. Let me get the live chat, pop up chat, so I can post a link. Give me a couple minutes, guys. A couple seconds. It won't be bad. You guys got to come in here though. Um, Copy. All right, I'm gonna post the link. There you go. Come on in. Don't leave me in here stranded by myself. Doug's here. Come on, y'all. Hit that link and come on in. I don't want to be here by myself. It's a boring place to be in this little place I'm at. Going on, Ben, Justin Hernandez. Oh, is it really? Oh, whole damn day. Oh man, that means you got to be on the roof. That sucks. Where Fritz at? I don't know where he's at. Driving home from the last job. What link? Right here. I'm gonna post it again. There you go.
What's up, Ralph?
What's going on, John? How are you? I love
Well,
John.
I actually got home before 10 o'clock.
Wow. Yeah. Well, hell, I've been home for a little bit.
Well, lucky.
Well, yeah. Hi, I'm new on here. Johnny Reyna.
Oh, we got some more
Somebody
people
else.
on.
Good. Yep. Like I said, it sucks having to be in here by yourself and nobody's talking to you. You know what I mean?
What's up, Ralph?
What's going on?
Hey, if you ever come up, if you ever do that train gig
Yeah.
and you come up through Columbia, South Carolina,
Yep.
give us a little heads up because I might have you come over and do a job if you got time to do it. A
Hey,
sheet,
man. Hey.
seriously, because I like your sheet metal work. It's really good, and the guys that I use, I mean, they're good mechanical techs.
Right.
They're good with the equipment and everything, but they're not very good at sheet work, and the duct work and stuff. So I need a return and a supply, um, boxed in. And well, you know what I mean. Your work is really good, and you do all the nice curves and stuff. That's what
Right.
it needs. That's what it needs.
Yeah. You know what? I know a lot of guys order their sheet metal stuff, but I don't have the time to. One reason I do all the sheet metal stuff for myself because I just don't have the time to go pick the stuff up, order and pick it up.
Right on.
You know, when I
I
was
mean,
doing,
if you got time to do something like that, if you don't, I mean, I
yeah,
understand. But I just,
yeah.
when you see
Even when
somebody that does good work, it's kind of like, hey, I wish that guy was in my area. You know what I mean?
yeah, oh yeah. Hey, you know what? Believe it or not, I have this. Uh, People call me from all over the country, and I have people asking, "Hey, will you come here and do this? You know, do
I
this."
believe it. I mean, if I was a rich man, I would make it worth your while to come do it. But I'm not a rich man, so. But I could
Well,
definitely pay you for the work for sure.
yeah, 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 yeah. I
But
had a guy, and the guy gave me a great idea last night, or yeah, last night. I posted some pictures on Facebook about a a job that a guy sent me. He sent me a pictures of this horrible job. I know some of you guys saw it. Um, and what it was he had a company that he's used before that did a good job for him before, and he paid him to do his job at his house and paid him quite well actually. And
right,
it was the worst job I've ever seen. And everybody on Facebook came to the conclusion that he took the lowest bid and blah 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 blah. But he didn't. He didn't bid it out, and he was charged, well for it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you can't see work people done before, it's kind of hard to. You figure all these companies out there. It's like, well, these guys have been in business a long time. They must be good, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're good just because they've been in business a while. But
I mean, that guy, the furnace was setting 2 inches out of level, going towards the return side. They used single wall pipe for the flue, and left the seam undone so the guy could stick his hand in the seam. They didn't
dang,
use a drip leg. Um, uh, they used the supply and the return house, and it was all muddy, so the tape didn't stick to it. Um, I mean, it was just a horrible job. And they mounted it with six cap blocks. That's what it was setting on. And some of the cap blocks, he could just reach under there and move. The furnace wasn't even setting on it.
man, that ain't good.
No. So it was just like, well. So he called me because he it wasn't like he was trying to. He just wanted some advice to make the job better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it was called a hack job. So the homeowner came, or the company owner came, and he said that guy was really, really, really embarrassed. Because the owner wasn't there. He had his guys doing the job. He said there was 6 of them doing the job, and there was scorch marks on the coil where they was raising the line set in. Yeah, it's a Billy Bob job. So he made them come back the next day, and they redid the whole job the next day. But the sad part is when he said, "Hey, I want you to put a drip leg on the gas line," the guy was like, "Well, it's not code, so I'm not going to have. So I'm not going to do that." And so what I did is the guy called me again, and I found the code, and I took a screenshot of it, and I sent it to him, and then I sent him the link to the whole gas code, the international gas code. So the guy wound up putting a new drip leg on it, but he didn't put a new gas cock. It had old that brass gas cock with I call it a grease fitting.
Hmm. Well, I just paid a company $800 to cut in a new return, and they didn't do anything to the plenum or anything like that. They ran a big 16-inch flex. I mean, I can't really blame them. The way the attic is situated,
right?
There's not a lot of room to play with there, and there's not also the way it's a horizontal left, and the return's coming in on the right side of the unit.
Right.
And it's just a box. It's got 2 16-inch flex coming in, and the one that they just installed last week is they just cut a hole in the back of the plenum and stuck it right in there. I mean, it doesn't even have a nice curve up. It's just kind of like almost pinched. But she is breathing better, though. I could tell the AC is running better. She's doing real good now with that return. It makes a big difference. It really does.
Oh no, it does. If you can breathe, I always tell people, the air conditioning system works just like we do, just like a human body. It has a heart, it's got lungs, it's got veins,
Mm-hmm.
And try running a marathon with a piece of cardboard over your nose and your mouth and see how far you get.
That's what they explained to me. They were like, it's kind of like breathing through a drinking straw.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I didn't understand, like, when they installed it, I didn't understand. When the salesman told me, because I don't know if you guys remember me or not, but I had a 2-year-old train system that the compressor went out.
Right.
And that's what started a lot of this. But when the salesman was pitching the job to me, he did mention ductwork, but when he said ductwork, I didn't think he meant like, cut in a return or anything like that. I thought he meant like they wanted to replace all the duct. This house is only like 12 years old, so.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Well, the ductwork's okay up there, according to the tech that came out that put the return in. He looked at it and said it was good, and they checked the airflow and did whatever you guys do with all the gadgets you guys got.
Right.
They said the airflow is good now with the return cut in. So, but it's not. I mean, what I mean is, it's not like a hack job with the ductwork or anything. The building contractor that put it in did a good job. They just didn't cut enough return in, basically, and that's a big problem everywhere, especially from what I hear from you guys.
Man, I could drive through just about any neighborhood in Atlanta, and I could point and say, that house has a low airflow, that house has low airflow, that house has low airflow.
Why do the architects not give them room to cut in?
It's not that. It's just that.
Well, why do they undersize them so much when they build houses? It don't make sense to me. I mean, more you can't really have way too much return, can you?
No, you can't have too much. But
At
what
least,
it is,
at least just have a big enough hole for the damn a big ass hole for one big ass return or something at least.
yeah. Well, it's actually, I think it's starting, and I could be wrong. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's going to start being code where just about every room has to have a return and get away from the central return. I'm not a fan of central return. Everything, I think every room, and Marco's right, Atlanta returns are starving for air. I think every room should have a return in it.
That might be a southern thing too, because it's the same thing here in South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean it's horrible. What happens is the guys are stuck back in the old days, where 8-inch flex is a half a ton, a 10-inch flex is it's a ton, and so what happens is it takes more work for the system to breathe in than it does to breathe out. So your returns need to be bigger than your supply.
Right.
In order to
That makes sense.
In order to get the right amount of return to the system.
Well, I can tell you one thing: it's running quieter. The air. We didn't really have any hot spots in the house before with the just the single return. So like comfort wasn't a big issue, but it was just, I guess it was putting such a strain on the system that at least we're thinking that's what choked the last compressor. I don't know.
Well, it definitely needs to have every room. Like I said, when I moved in my house, I changed it. It had a couple central returns, and they were all low sidewalls, and the supplies were low sidewalls, and I used the stud space as a return, and I went up into the attic and I cut the plate out, so I was able to duct and then add some more return actually. Um, every bedroom I did, just spread them out through the house. So, it made the house feel totally different.
I tell you what, it's definitely running cooler. I don't have to. I'll cut the thermostat up another degree, and it's very comfortable, and it's keeping the humidity down fine. So, from a layman's perspective, from the guy that doesn't really know all the technical stuff that you guys know, feels pretty good to me, man. I mean,
yeah, I mean it does make a difference, but I guarantee you, putting a return in every room makes the system run so much better, so much better. Um, even if you can't put a return in every room, I know a lot of guys will do what we call a crossover duct, where they go into the attic and put a return vent in the room and then run a piece of flex over into the hallway and
like
and
tap off of it, or
yeah, and then that way the air will cross over, into the hallway.
well, they put it in a. We've got a huge living room, and that's where they put the return in. The other one was sort of like on the back side of the house where the bedrooms are.
Right.
They added one in the big room, so I may in the future I may add more returns. I don't know. I guess ain't nothing but as long as you got room far enough from the supplies, right?
Yeah. Like the supplies go on the outside wall, and then the returns go on the interior.
Yeah, I'll probably get that done eventually, just to make sure we can get as much longevity out of the system as we can.
Right.
Because that's why I got a train in the first place.
If you have room, I would suggest anybody put returns in every room. But if they don't have room, a crossover duct works.
Yeah, I love watching you guys. Like I said, a long time ago, I used to work for this. It wasn't an air conditioning company, but it was a filter. You know them. You know who it are. PureTech.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, I've done several jobs for. I used to sub their filters, doing their filters, PureTech.
That whole story was crazy. What happened with those guys?
Yeah.
I wasn't a tech. I helped them do some installs. I didn't really know anything technical about it. You know what I mean? The guy, I was just a gopher.
Right.
The guy I did a little bit of sheet metal work, but not much. But
well, the problem with PureTech is that they were subcontracted.
They didn't build any transitions ever either. They usually slapped it right on the furnace.
Yeah, they slapped it
to the air handler.
That was the problem with PureTech.
You know what I saw with them? A lot of frozen coils from
Well,
the
yeah.
restriction, and also there was this one family in Aiken, South Carolina. What I did was what my job was for them was I was a filter changer
Right.
for South Carolina and Eastern Georgia. I did the whole state of South Carolina, well, except for like Hilton Head.
Right.
They would shoot me a list every week, and I would my job was to set up appointments in regions and do, I did a certain region. Like I go to Augusta one day and do like 15 houses down there.
Right.
And then come back home the next day. I'd go to like Greenville, or the next day I might go down to Charleston or something like that. But you get the point. But
Right.
that's all I did, though. I wasn't an AC. I never aspired to be an AC guy. But I hung out with a couple of AC guys because they did have refrigeration techs for them, because they had to have people that could do that in order to do it properly.
Well, we had some jobs here in Atlanta because they were here in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's where we went down there and seen what was that guy's name? Harry? I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
They put us up in a hotel. I mean, I tell you what, that job paid pretty damn good, man. To just run around and change people's filters. But basically, that's all I did was change filters, change the bulbs, wipe the bulbs down.
Yeah, it was a great concept. I mean, they really did a good job with what they had, but the problem was the installers that they were letting do in different parts of the states. I mean, that's where they messed up. There was no training.
I had to. Rich Pace was the guy that was doing the division in North and South Carolina, I think, and he after I was there for like, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so, he started having me just go look over the installers and just kind of inspect it. Right. Not like a technical inspection, not like I'm looking for code or anything, but just look for general, cleanliness, how it, did they do the job right? Does it look good?
Well, I tried to get those guys. I went to several jobs that they sent me to go look at jobs that other people had installed, where the registers were sweating, and I was like, well, they don't have enough return. They blocked off the return, and these things really need a transition.
Like I said, they never even built transitions. They always just mounted it directly to the furnace or air handler, right directly to it, and then just put a plenum on the back side of it. But one of the biggest problems we were having down here with them was mold, because PureTech was telling everybody to run their fan 24/7, and that ain't good to run your fan 24/7 if your AC ain't running, because it ain't, it pulls humidity into the house and everything. And we had that, like I said, we had that customer down in Aiken. They lived on a golf course. It wasn't, I wouldn't say they're super rich people or anything, but they were, fairly well off, upper middle class.
Right.
And their entire house was just about ruined for mold.
Yeah, no, it was a horrible deal.
It wasn't too long after that. Maybe a year or so after that, and I kind of left, started seeing the writing on the wall. I kind of got out of that, and it wasn't too long after that they went bankrupt.
Yeah, they had the news crews were over at their office. I remember the whole damn thing.
Oh, and then you had people that were so pissed off because they couldn't get filters anymore.
Yep.
That was a whole crazy ordeal, man.
I mean, they were rocking and rolling,
and they were charging a lot of money for that shit too.
Yes, they were.
$5,000 just for the damn
paying for it.
I know, like crazy. I mean, I believed in it when I was working for them.
Well, yeah,
and I know it actually can work if it's done correctly. It has to be done correctly.
I built one for because I asked him how much is one of those things for my own house, and he's like, well, we got $500 in it, and I was like, oh, well, screw that. So
they were charging like $5,000 per unit, and you had some customers. There was one customer we had down in Augusta that they were rich. You could live in her crawl space.
Right.
Like, I mean, like seriously, she had like, I don't know, 8 bedrooms, 3 floors, huge house. I think she had like 6 systems in there.
Right.
I mean, just changing her system, just going to her house, I had to use like 2 boxes of filters.
Let's see. Yeah, I had to. So when he told me $500, I was like, I'm not paying $500 for this thing. So I went and built my own, and mounted it and did the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's just sheet metal housing and with a little power supply for the bulb. But I don't know, some people swore by it. Some of our customers swore by it. I had one customer, I had to go to her house and change it every 2 weeks. Seriously, because her house was infested with animals. She had like 10 dogs, 4 cats, a bunch of birds and shit.
Right.
And every time I went over there, we used to change them on a 2-month. They had a 2-month rotation for most customers, but it turned out like we had to change hers every 2 weeks. That's how bad hers was.
Yeah, dogs and stuff will do it.
But that was years ago. That was like what, 2000, 2001, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
I was doing so many of their installs. I hired a guy to actually do the installs.
Cool.
Then he called me one day and he said, we're having problems installing this thing. I was like, why? Well, we just can't figure out the sheet metal part of it. I'm like, dude, I thought you told me you knew how to do sheet. Well, I'm not the sheet metal guy you are. Like, holy hell. So I had to stop what I was doing and go over to where they were at and do the sheet metal work for them. And 2 days later, I called the guy up and said, hey, bring me the van.
I don't know. You don't know. You guys don't know anybody in Columbia, South Carolina area, do you, that does good sheet metal work?
There may be somebody in the, somebody that's watching or whatever.
Because that's basically what I want. Like you see those commercial units, and a lot of times on the commercial unit they'll have I don't know what you call it, the big S coming out of the supplier return.
Yeah.
I want something like that on this.
Right.
Like what I was thinking for the return is, I don't know if it's the right design or not, but for the return side, have like a J, like the letter J, but not kind of like a J, and then having the 2 returns come in there, so where it would be kind of vertical.
Right.
But the box would stick out far enough.
Right.
Like a J. And then for supply, it's got 2 lines coming out of the supply.
Right.
So thinking doing an S and like a S thing coming out there, because you don't have a lot of rim to come out of the supply because there's framing in the way there.
Hold on a second. Luke, you have to use something. Hey, much better. Much better.
What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Still
Just shooting the shit with Ralph.
I hear that, man. Hey, I love you. Got it in the AC business, man. I got like a good year and change in.
Do what?
I just started in the AC business, man. I got like a year and change in, man. We doing a whole bunch of installations now.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Where you from?
I live in New York, Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
That's where Steve Lav sounds like he's from, but he's from Massachusetts.
Yep.
I like Steve Lav, man. He's cool, man.
He was in the other chat. Was you here when we did the other hangout?
Yeah, I was in there. I watch you guys occasionally. Well, if I'm messing around the computer and you guys pop up, I always jump in. I don't usually come in the chat. I did one other time to come in the chat, but I don't usually do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really in the industry, so I don't really want to bug you guys too much.
Right.
But we do appreciate what you guys do, and it's entertaining. And I'm not a homeowner just trying to do everything myself. I don't want you guys to think that. I do pay these techs to come out here and do it, because if I do it, it's going to cost me twice as much to get it fixed. Yeah, I'm not completely inept or anything, but I'm not really technically inclined with that kind of thing. So I kind of leave it.
That's what I was talking about. That homeowner that sent me the information.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's mic is backfeeding.
Yeah, there's an echo for sure.
I think it's mine.
Yeah. Do you have what you do is mute your YouTube?
Mute the YouTube?
Yeah.
Or make sure you don't have 2 windows up. You might have 2 windows up. You might have the Google Hangouts window up and then the YouTube video running in another one.
Yeah, just go over to YouTube and mute it. No, not you, but the YouTube. So anyway, yeah, the guy that I was talking about with the furnace, he was a homeowner, and that's why he got in touch with me, so he could have some more information so the contractor, because the contractor did such a terrible job,
Yeah.
and he just wanted some information so he would know if the contractor was BSing him or not.
Yeah,
So,
see that's kind of what I was looking for you guys for a little bit of advice too, just to be able to watch out. But now I've got a good tech that I know he's a good tech, and
yeah, and
I trust him. So I'm gonna keep with this tech. It's the same company, but like I said before, they send it a different tech every time. It's one of those big companies. So
right, and then so I talked to the guy. I talked to him for a good long time, and I gave him all the information he needed to know. And then he asked me, "Well, how much I owe you?" I said, "Man, you don't owe me nothing." Well, when I talked to him last night, he said, "My wife demands that I send you a check." I was like, "Just send me what you want to, man. Send me what you want."
yeah, you definitely deserve something, man,
So
for sure.
Can you guys hear me?
yeah, yeah.
A lot of the bad HVAC guys give you guys a bad, and that's why you got to deal with a bunch of irate customers because they've been screwed by some hack.
Yeah.
Before they got our True Pro,
Yeah. So Eric, what's going on?
Oh, I'm in Kansas City. I've been in the field for 12 years. I've dealt with the old stuff, the new stuff, and everything else. And I log on here, and I expect to see some guys with some knowledge. And what's going on? Who has some real questions?
Well, we just kind of
we're just shooting the shit.
Yeah, it's just a BS session. It's not really a.
Well,
I just full disclaimer, I'm not an HVAC guy, so I'm not trying to pretend to be either. I just enjoy the field.
I'm 35. I've done boilers, chillers, HVAC. I've been in the office everywhere. I train at. I have a web page with my dad, and we teach at the local college and Vatterott and all that stuff.
Cool. Very
so
cool.
Somebody was saying, what was somebody saying just a second ago? Something that just wasn't true.
About what?
Somebody had some questions a little bit ago.
In the chat?
Yeah, I just logged on. I've never been here before.
Oh, cool. I think I don't know. It's hard for me to keep up with the chat and talking.
So, what are some of the things you guys running into?
Well, doing in residential, it's all different.
You guys mainly do residential on this one?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I did residential for a couple of years, and then I ran our division for a while. But I'm trying to go back and find out. Somebody was saying something about. I'll find it. Go ahead. I don't mean to disturb.
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's hard for me to keep up with the chat.
So where's everybody at? I'm in Kansas City.
I'm in Atlanta. Well, close to Atlanta.
I'm adjacent to Ralph. I'm in South Carolina.
Yep. And then Doug, he's up there in New York.
Oh yeah, somebody was talking about flex duct. They were just going to run flex duct.
Well, we were talking about the return, sizing the return differently than the supply.
Okay, so basically, the way the math works on that is, you've got your static for your supply, and you generally want your static on your return down to nothing. So if you're going to run flex and you're doing, I don't know, say 200 CFM, and that's your supply, then you're just going to run the equivalent on your ductulator at 200 with flex, or you're going to go 4.
Well, what I was saying was it's a misconception that people have out there where if they run an 8-inch flex for their supply, they're going to have to run an 8-inch flex for the return. That's what
right. That's not right.
And that's not right.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
For the
Because hold on a second, I'll tell you. And I keep this little chart.
So basically, the rule of thumb.
Hey Ralph, I was thinking about what I was thinking about. I don't know why I was thinking this. It's just kind of silly, but you should dress up, Ralph, for Halloween as Uli John Roth,
Who?
and Zach should dress up as Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, good old Mitch Hedberg. So,
You don't know who Uli John Roth is? The Scorpions guitarist.
no.
Look him up on the internet.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because you kind of look, you got that mustache. You kind of look like him a little bit. If you put on the big old headband thing and a big long hair wig,
Right.
you can pull off the Uli John Roth.
So
Knock you like a hurricane.
basically, what I want to say or what I want to think about on flex duct is the corrugations, the spiral inside of the flex duct is the velocity restriction rate of roughly 10 feet of round. So if I'm doing a return and I know my static is 0 at return, but 1 or whatever at supply, then there's your math. The flex duct has restriction much more. Like 1 foot of flex is 10 foot of round straight.
Right. Well, here's
Don't you guys just use flex because you hate insulating hard pipe?
No.
Well, no, because this is my biggest pet peeve is guys who are out there and they'll run flex ducts. Now, when I was younger, it was always do hard pipe and always wrap it, and I had all these tricks and stuff for wrapping it.
Oh, but the insulation sucks, man. I hate that shit.
Yeah, but you doing it right. You gotta do it right.
That costs money.
And really, if anybody's, when you get that itch that from the pink shit, that's worse than anything builders fucking get to, because in that silverback crap that's like fucking itching powder. Get in a cold shower and then douse yourself with vinegar. It will push off all the glass, and you'll be done.
I just have to wear a hazmat suit if I ever do insulation again.
It doesn't bother me, man.
Yeah, I know guys who says it doesn't bother them, and it's because their wives use cheap fabric softener in their clothes. The expensive stuff, it'll leave the glass right in your shirts.
No, I don't wear clothes on my arms. It don't bother me at all. You know what I mean?
One thing I definitely won't ever use is
fucking done it. Then you haven't fucking done it. You haven't fucking put in white insulation wrap around that shit, man. I don't care.
I've done flex. I've done ductboard. I've done it all. And
I don't like that ductboard shit, man.
Insulation does not bother me.
Have you done boiler wrap?
Do what?
Boiler wrap?
No, I don't do boilers down here.
Oh, dude. Boiler wrap. Oh my God, that shit! It floats in the air. It stings your eyelids.
Yeah, we don't do any boilers here.
You ever run into a lot of old asbestos insulation down here?
I've seen it, and then had to call in abatement crews and stuff.
I've definitely seen it. The old sheet metal duct wrapped in asbestos insulation. I see it fairly common in the older houses down here.
Nasty shit.
So, but yeah, no, I've done my fair share of insulating, and it just doesn't bother me.
I did too. I used to help do duct installs, and man, I hated that stuff. I always loved the flex, man.
I worked for a company, and we did military housing, and I went and I built all the ductboard stuff. We had a ductboard machine, and I built all the. You're echoing again there, Blue.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
You got headphones?
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to do it anyway.
Turn it down.
Yeah, go over to your YouTube link and mute YouTube.
Mute the YouTube. All right, let me see.
So when we were, I gotta mute you. Or mute yourself, Blue. All right. So anyway, so I would build all the ductboards, uh, trunk line and stuff for all these houses we were doing. I had stacks and stacks and stacks, and I go on Saturday and cut all the ductboard for the jobs for the week. And we had lunch there one time, and everybody was sitting in chairs, and there wasn't any more chairs left. And so I was just kicking back on the ductboard stuff that I had cut, sitting on the insulation. It didn't bother me at all.
You're immune to it.
Yeah,
You did it for so long.
Yeah, so.
Did you sweat a lot?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't go in a hot attic and not sweat. That's for sure. You ain't human if you don't.
Dude, I'm 35 and I'm working with these guys. It's a new company. I've been there about 3 months now, and these motherfuckers are 57, 55, and 56, and they're out there working all day, not just
not missing a step.
Yeah, like it's insane.
They don't build them like they used to, man.
Yeah.
Younger generations are not adept for. Well, they're not in the media, and they don't glorify working man anymore. They used to kind of like back in the 50s and 40s, and on TV you had.
When I was growing up.
Well, you grow up with like Clint Eastwood and stuff like that, man. I mean, working men.
Yeah, well, I mean,
kind of deal.
I grew up out small time.
Nowadays, they got a bunch of faggots and stuff. That's that's what they publicize and glorify nowadays. And people working in offices, lawyers, and doctors have always been. And doctors are worthy of that, though. I mean, at least most of them are. But
I grew up in a small town and on a farm. And I tell you what, it's crazy. Let me tell you what. We hired a millennial. This dude, he's like 20 or something, 19, fresh out of college, got a degree, everything, right? And we put him in a truck, and he's riding around, and he keeps complaining about the mirrors in the truck aren't working right. And we're just, the dispatcher's thinking, what the fuck, whatever, and this dude keeps complaining about the mirrors in his truck. I show up to a job to show the guys how to do the wiring on the EMS, and he talks. I meet him for the first time and talk to him for a little bit. He walks me over and he's like, "Yeah, I just can't get the mirrors set in this truck." And I look at the motherfucker and he's standing there, and I was like, "I guess you're gonna have to take it to the shop." So I told everybody, I said, he can't figure it out. Just send him to the Goodyear, have them figure it out. Goodyear charges us 2 fucking man-hours to stand there and set his mirrors because he couldn't find the toggle switch inside the vehicle to set his mirrors. Like, you just walk up and push the mirrors and set them. He didn't want to touch the mirror itself. Like, what the fuck?
That's
how are you going to be an HVAC tech?
Eric.
Yeah.
Look, can you tone the language down just a little bit? I hate to ask you. I know we're all guys here working, but there's guys that do listen. That one of the guys in the comments said, about cussing.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I know we're all guys here working. It's 11:15, but this video actually goes on my channel and stays on the channel.
Keep it PG.
Yeah, keep it PG.
But yeah, how the hell is a guy with a degree going to come out of college and not going to be able to figure out how to set his mirrors? And like I've told my boss, I will hire it and turn a guy into a service tech if he has it. If he can just be able to look at stuff objectively, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I could have a guy that won't set his own mirrors installing air conditioning.
Well, yeah, it's like he's got a degree in HVAC, but he can't figure that out. And Goodman is, on the chat line here. Goodman they're a good product. They use Copeland compressors. They use basic contactors, but bottom line is they are the bottom of the grade. I mean, they're contractor grade. They're the base model. You don't get much cheaper than the Goodman. Listen, anybody who sells Goodman will sell to anybody. So when you walk up to a Goodman, you don't know who installed it. It could be anybody. Some of the other brands are more selective to where, when you walk up on it, most likely the person was at least hired by a company that was reputable. It doesn't mean that it was installed correctly or anything, but, Goodman's, I've seen guys throw Goodman. I ran service calls where the maintenance guy has thrown in 2 or 3 different Goodman condensers because that's what they can buy, because the coil keeps freezing up.
Hey, I've got Goodmans out there that have ran and ran and ran for years.
Oh yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. Copeland put out a study. Remember, and all of us guys who've been actually out there in the field, you'll remember when Copeland started demanding all of their warranty compressors coming back for about 2 years.
Right.
They wanted them all back, period. They want every compressor warranted. They wanted them back. And that's because they were running a study trying to see and determine the cause of failure on all their compressors. Well, they found out that 99.99% of them were due to installation errors. A Goodman is the same as a train if it's installed correctly.
Well, I do say that. I can make the most expensive system run horribly.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I can make a cheap system run really well.
Right, exactly. When somebody walks up to me and they're a startup company and they're a fledgling company and they recently found out that they have to have a server and that they have to have a little closet to have all their computer stuff in, and they find out that they need to have a server room unit. Well, I'm the first one to say, hey, you don't necessarily need to buy a Liebert unit. I can just buy a Linux or Goodman, put crankcase heaters, low ambient temperature kits, high pressure controls, low pressure controls, and set that thing up to run just like a Liebert unit, or and make it run for you. But it's all about installing it properly and pulling the proper vacuum, making sure the line set's the correct size and the metering device is right.
Yeah.
So it's not the wand, it's the magician, right?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of FM in this field. There's a lot of magic. It's like, woo!
Well, I just meant it's not the equipment, it's the person installing it, basically.
Well, it's not necessarily the person installing it. It's just did he read the charts? Did he read the manufacturer's specifications? I mean, I'm 10 years, 12 years into it, and I still, even if I've installed 10 of these units, I'm still going to look at the ductwork, look at the thermostat, look at the load, and make sure that I wire it and I set it up properly. Check superheat. I don't know why all these guys. I mean, I've even had a guy one time. I rolled up to a apartment complex, and there's like a line of HVAC techs, and I'm standing there in line, and they're just giving out, how many apartments can you take? 1, 2, or 3, And this guy goes, well, I don't believe that superheat and that subcool tells you what's actually going on with the system. It's just like, what?
I've learned enough by watching you guys that that's one of the very most important diagnostic tools is knowing those two things.
Right. If you can tell me what your superheat, subcool, indoor temp, outdoor temp, and maybe temp drop, I can pretty much tell you what's going on with the system. You know, it's not magic. It's science.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not rocket science, but it is science.
No, and see, you know, I'm in the unique position of service techs out there in the field. I cut my teeth before Google and before smartphone. Now, you know, when I first got my first service truck, I had to have books in my truck, and I had to have literature. Now, I can Google everything. You walk up to any unit, you can see model, serial number. You can Google and download the entire everything you ever needed to know about that unit.
How do you guys feel about homeowners that try to get educated on this stuff and still don't know what the hell they're doing or talking about?
I think,
like, you know, because with Google, everybody thinks they're an expert on everything because they Google something and they read something and they figure, oh, well, that's. I'm sure it drives doctors crazy and shit. You know, people Googling their all these symptoms and everything.
Yeah, I appreciate. I tell you what, I ran our residential division for a few months, and I appreciate the homeowners who can Google stuff. And you know, okay, honestly, if I ran up on somebody who was truly down and out, you know, you could tell if they're poor. I would go ahead and show them the Amazon price and say, hey, order this from Amazon. Because honestly, I've gotten to where I order a lot of my parts for residential stuff on Amazon because I can tell the customer, hey, you need a new blower motor, you need a new condenser fan motor or whatever. I'll be back tomorrow. And or you know, I'll be back whenever I get back, and you text me the tracking number.
I don't hear an echo.
And my dispatch can see exactly when that product arrives. So even if my customer orders it or I order it, if it's something that I have to wait for my suppliers, you know, United Refrigeration or Johnstone, if they're going to have to order it out for a couple of days, I can get it next day aired from Amazon for half the cost to their doorstep. So I'll just say, hey, tomorrow a package is going to arrive, and I'll arrive shortly after that package. When I order it through Amazon, it'll be on its way there. When it shows up on their doorstep, I'll get an email notification, and my dispatch crew knows somebody can run out there and put that part on. And generally, it's cheaper than what you can buy it at United.
Well,
you guys ever installed Spiral?
I've never, but I don't know if I would buy anything offline for a customer.
Well, so here's the thing. With it makes sense. Yes, you're right. And all that works.
I wasn't really getting at that though. I wasn't like trying to be like homeowner.
There are a lot of things.
Do it yourself homeowner. That's not what I meant. I meant like let me put it this way. What kind of information or how could a customer be more helpful to you guys other than staying out of your way or whatever? What kind of information can a homeowner or acquire that would be helpful to you guys when you come out?
The best information, if I walk up to your house and you say, hey, I've got a bunch of problems and here's a bunch of issues and blah 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 blah, and tell me this big long story, I would rather you just hand me the service tickets that you have and maybe just a blank history. You know, when you walk up on a unit and you see one of the reputable companies who's put a sticker on there and made their technicians fill out a date log of everything they've done.
All righty then. That's that.
Well, I was kind of.
Right.
What could you elaborate on that, Ralph?
I ejected them.
Well, I'm talking, but I wasn't really asking him. I was asking you, really. But
Couldn't get a word in edgewise.
But did you get the question?
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, it's tough to say. I do listen to the customer. Yeah, I don't know what happened. But I do listen to the customer and let them describe what the problem is. And most of the time, they'll tell me what the problem is with the units.
Hmm.
Right.
Because, like I said, I know it's pretty tricky stuff, but I know a lot of times a lot of techs they'll go through. I guess guys that aren't as experienced as some of you are that have been out there in the field a long time, seeing a lot of stuff. Maybe they don't know to check this or that. You know what I mean? Like you've seen something.
Y'all. Yeah. Look, y'all. Sorry to interrupt you there, but I try not to do that kind of stuff, and I try to give everybody a fair shot. But come on, when he started saying that he ordered his part on Amazon, I had enough.
And I wasn't even asking about that kind of thing. I was like, because that's coming from that seemed to me like coming from like a do-it-yourselfer kind of angle, which is not what I was trying to do.
Yeah, and then he had enough nerve to say, if I don't itch because of installation, I've never done installation. What the hell?
I know it made
That's
me.
right.
I guess it does make you itch if you don't know how to handle it. I guess properly, but
I don't know.
well, like ductboard, like you were talking about laying on ductboard. Well, ductboard's not the same thing as the Pink Panther crowd that they put in some of that stuff.
It's all glass. It's all spun glass. So
true. You know, when I was a kid, it's funny because when I was a kid, we had this big spare front room, and my dad was my dad was in a computer business. He was in Navy. He was an E7, and he was a chief.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and him and a friend of his were trying to get some kind of business. He told me if they would have succeeded, they would have been the Microsoft of hardware, like a kind of like an IBM kind of deal.
Right.
But my dad had a bunch of old computer stuff in this front room, and then they had this. I don't know why he had it in there because we weren't getting any AC installed, but he had this big ductboard, like trunk and plenum, and some reason it was assembled in there, and I was a kid and I got into that thing, man. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I was itching for days, man.
So yeah, so I do, I do try to keep it clean as far as the language goes. And, like I said, I know we're all guys in here, but yeah, some people just don't like it.
I don't know. Am I cussing? I usually don't cuss too bad. Am I cussing?
No, not you. Not
Okay.
you. But, if somebody does come in here and want to talk.
So you never seen that guy before? He just come in there and takes control.
Before. Yeah.
Thought he looked like he might have been a little. I mean, I ain't trying to judge the dude or not. I don't know who he is, but he's not presenting himself very well.
Oh, yeah. Nobody else can join the here.
Yeah, I didn't mean to take over your show either, Ralph. I just can't.
No, you're not. You're not. Hell,
I'm not trying to impose myself on you guys.
No.
I just figured I'd come in and until it filled up a little bit, and then well, I'm probably gonna leave here in a little bit anyway. But
no,
figured I'd keep you company until you got a little bit more company in there.
Yeah. No, that's all right. Hey, look, I don't care if I get thumbs down. I don't care at all. That's right.
Yeah, I ain't never seen that dude before. He was a little bit imposing.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's kind of a know-it-all. And look, I don't claim to know everything, but when somebody does, then it's just, come on, really?
He wasn't very professional. Let's put it that way.
No.
Remember, if he put in 10 units, that means he's done none.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like, well, okay.
Well, I guess a lot of people say John Israel's not professional either, right?
Well,
but I like John though. John's soft to the earth kind of dude. Well, so are you, Ralph.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
You know, I don't know why I'm a big Ralph fanboy, but I'm like I got like a man crush on you or something, dude.
don't look, nah.
No, you know what I'm saying.
No. I don't know. It's just like
I just admire people that you can tell through your videos that you really enjoy what you do, and you can't really fake that. You can't fake that, man. People can see right through it, and I watched your circle for probably about a year now. You and John Israel and Steve Lav, and you guys are all authentic, and you guys set a good example for people out there. You really do.
Well, we're just guys. You know what I mean? We're just
That's
guys.
true. I don't mean to say that you guys are any kind of,
no, but
saints or anything, but you do set a good example. It's good for young techs and young people coming up to watch guys like you work.
Well, that's why Jason O, who's an instructor in Chicago, he puts all our podcasts. He makes all the students watch the podcast or watch these live hangouts.
Yeah, I mean, because there's nothing like working in the field and seeing people that work in the field and seeing you guys, come across a problem and diagnose it and figure it out and fix it, because you guys aren't just parts changers, you know what I mean? You guys can actually fix stuff.
Right.
Sometimes you got to change a part, but
And I agree with Ed there. He's like, he had them at, hey, hand me the service tickets and I'll figure this out. No. Yeah. See, John, Ted likes you. He likes you a lot more than you think.
Yeah, but you guys are, I mean, I like watching all kind of different kind of people on YouTube, different kind of professions, different. I mean, I'm like, ever since I was a kid, I've always been fascinated with guitar and stuff like that. So I watch a lot of guitar stuff too, but I mean, I watch all kinds of, that's what the cool thing about YouTube is, man, is there's just, everything is out there, man. Anything you can imagine, just about.
Let's see, but they don't know shit. Laugh out loud. Because no.
Well, I can't see the chat in my window. I just got one window, the Google Hangout window. I can't see the chat in here, so I don't know what people are saying.
So we're idiots. Well, hey, look, Eric. It wasn't just me. The whole chat was talking about you. So we're all idiots, every one of us. Everybody in the chat, and when we kicked you out, it was like, thanks for doing that. Scroll up.
I found him to be a little bit imposing, to be a new guy coming into the group and then just kind of like taking over and not letting anybody talk.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy just might be coming off the wrong way or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I try to give everybody.
Well, you let me on here, so that must be, I know you.
I mean, I try to give everybody a chance. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, look, he can do whatever he wants to, and he can give me all the dislikes he wants to or whatever. But, when he told me that I didn't ever install because insulation doesn't bother me, that kind of was like, really, dude, really? I've been doing this 24 years. I've been doing it twice as long as he has. But I've never installed. I've never done heat and air. Come on, really?
Was he saying that about you? I didn't even catch that.
No, he didn't say that. He just said that
that's what he was trying to imply or something.
I didn't do heating and air if insulation didn't bother me.
I know a guy that insulation didn't bother him either, but it bothered me. But I was probably because I was a moron rolling around in it like a dumbass. But I love Flex, man. Anytime they had a job with Flex on, I was like, oh yeah, baby, we ain't got to do no rapping.
It's just, everybody used to do the sheet metal stuff is a dying art.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about like a lot of the old sheet metal, none of it's sealed. I mean, like, they didn't use masking stuff back then in a lot of the old houses, so there's giant holes in all of it, and then they don't have the seam. None of the seams are sealed. Now, and stuff like what you do, Ralph, obviously it's going to be up to par and good, but some of the old stuff I've seen is, I'd rather just rip it out and throw Flex in and try to fix all that.
Right.
So have you guys done the high velocities yet?
Well, I've done a couple of them, yeah.
As I've been trying to get a hold of Unico, and they just totally ignore everything. Space Pack, there's not a lot of info on it. And
really?
Yeah, it's just weird. I can't seem to get a hold of anybody. They're like, oh, go to the website or the supply house. And the supply house that has Space Pack is a pain in the ass. Unico, just like I said, I don't know what their issue is. They just won't get a hold of you.
Isn't it funny how some manufacturers will do that, but it seems like you would think that they would want to get in touch with you and answer the questions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to put it in the house here, the hell.
Right.
And nothing.
Well,
But
yeah.
make it happen in this place too is the high velocity.
The company I used to work for, we did a lot of Unicos.
I guess the main difference between them and Space Pack is the actual supply ducts. One is the vinyl, and the other one is just like a regular duct, I guess.
Right.
But
yeah, I installed a couple of them, but it's just if you mess them up, you got trouble on your hands.
Yeah. But I mean, they could sell the hell out.
Actually, believe it or not, the EcoVent, somebody was asking a question in the chat. Me and Zach actually were going to interview those guys for the podcast on this past Saturday, but Zach had something going on, so we had to cancel it.
I saw that guy on TV.
On This Old House or whatever.
It's like the
I'm just like, well,
or whatever.
That stuff is yeah,
that's asking for issues.
That's what you guys are trying to get Bob Vila, man.
I mean,
Mike Rowe, Bob Vila, Tim Allen.
We're gonna try to get them. We just need guys to go over to their to the Twitter and the Facebook and stuff like that and share those.
Get Clint Eastwood too, man.
Yeah.
Would that not be terrific?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to pick on you. Yeah, I mean, Mike Rowe would be a good guy. He does represent the working man pretty well. And Mike Rowe's not afraid to get his hands dirty, like a lot of those Hollywood types.
Yeah. No, Robert, I wouldn't let them bother me. I've been on YouTube long enough for people not to bother me. I was just like, just doesn't make any sense to me.
There's some crazy people out there, man.
Yeah, and one guy is not gonna bother me. You should read some of the comments that I've had over the years.
Oh, I'm sure, man. I'm sure. I've never been important enough to have trolls or anything like that. I wear them like a badge of honor.
Well, yeah. I mean, hell, if somebody's willing to give you a bad comment, hey, you've done something good.
Yeah, if you get a bunch of trolls on you, man, that means you're doing something right. I don't know what it is. The internet is a strange animal, man. It really is. I guess people are strange. That's what it boils down to. But the internet really brings out the weirdness, and even me occasionally. I mean, I'm sure everybody goes through those phases where you get chat happy and say stuff you probably wish you wouldn't have.
Yep. And once it's on the internet, it's there.
It's pretty much there forever.
Somebody asked about Johnstone. Are they a good supplier? It depends on the store.
It depends on what you're getting.
It depends on what you're getting, and it depends on the store, because my Johnstone here, and we have like 5 in Atlanta. One Johnstone is better than the other ones. So it's it just depends on the store you go to. And the guys that run it.
It always boils down to the people, don't it?
Yep. Somebody asked if I had any duck videos coming out anytime soon. Nope, not.
If he comes to Columbia, he will. Well, it won't be really duck. Where he just be cutting in a couple plenums.
Yeah.
Doing them right.
Yeah, and it does. So Ness, did you get your you did get your Orion? Are you gonna take pictures of it and all that other kind of crazy stuff? Ness is the one that won the Orion last week. Nope, no ABC in Atlanta.
I can't remember what. I'll go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. I remember I took my EPA test at Johnstone when I first got into the field.
I can't remember what supply house we used when I worked at PureTech. I think it was Butler or something like that. I don't remember what their name was. I used to have to go in there and get. It might have been Baker. Baker. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I used to have to go in there and get the mastic and all that kind of fun stuff. Though that was fun, man, with mastic. I remember the first couple of times I had that crap all over me. They were laughing at me. Stuff like peanut butter, man.
Yeah, I try not to use it if I can get away with it.
I always like mastic tape as long as it was hot. In the winter,
well,
it ain't
if
too
it's
good.
not hot,
You got to torch it.
Hot, yeah, get your MAP gas torch out and just give it a little.
I do like that mastic tape, but it makes a nice, clean job.
Yeah, I use mastic tape on all the supplies anywhere there's metal to metal, and then I use mastic on the return. Like if I'm doing a filter box, I'll do it all on the inside, so you can't see it.
Yeah, that used to be one of my favorite things. Going PureTech used to make us go back and seal people's houses up after they ran into issues.
Right.
And you'd have some of these people, you know, the returns cut out right into the joist, like in a crawl space where they had the return cut right in the joist. So just have a sheet metal over it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you got those big gaps in there. I used to just take the brush, man, fill it up with mastic, and just sling it in there to fill the big gaps in. Of course, I don't know if that worked. I probably didn't do it right. But.
Well, Blue wants to know if how I got in the field. Did I go to school? I went to school after I got in the field. So yeah, after I got in the field, I went to school, but I just got in the field because I answered an ad in the paper.
Did you do any of this kind of stuff in the Navy?
Yeah, I did sheet metal in the Navy.
Sheet metal. Yeah, I remember you talking about that in the sheet metal video, I think.
Yeah. Hell, I did it in the Navy for 4 years. And then when I got out, I was like, hell, answer ad for sheet metal installer.
Yeah, I remember my dad telling me some stories about the Navy. My dad had, I guess, you know, the guy that came and installed the train, one of the guys on there, he used to be in the Navy too. I was like, yeah, my old man was an E7. He said, Chief. And my dad, and he was telling me about how a lot of chiefs have this kind of humor, and that fit my dad perfectly. I was like, yeah, that's Chief.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Usually the piston is, I don't know, it's hard to, I hate to say it because the old ADP coils had the piston hidden on the inside. But most of them nowadays they're mounted on the outside. Yeah, so if anybody else wants to come in the chat or come in the hangout, come on.
Yeah, before I make everybody fall asleep, man.
Well, I'm doing a pretty good job of that myself.
Well, I appreciate you letting me in here. I'm not trying to impose, like I said. I was just kind of bored seeing you guys on, and you were doing a hangout and said, come on in. I'm like, well, I guess I'll come on in there.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's fine. I'm not worried about it.
I was going to dip out when it filled up, but it never really filled up. I guess because that dude wouldn't let anybody talk.
Yeah. now he's scared everybody away.
I don't want to leave you all by yourself. Well, I guess you got another one in here. I think I'm about to dip out and go to bed.
Yeah. Well, we'll be on for just a couple more minutes, actually. I think at midnight my time, which is about 15 more minutes, so shut it down.
I guess I'll hang out here. I can hang out here 10 more minutes just to keep you company.
Yeah.
No.
Doug, you got anything coming up, Doug?
Gonna be finishing up that Mitsubishi in about 2 weeks.
Ah.
Be putting the radiant heat down also.
Cool.
So I got some other estimates out that are kind of just hanging. I got an oil job I got to check out tomorrow, power venter and stuff like that. This whole week. Oh, I only had one call.
Really?
Yeah. Did.
Blue wants to know if I ever install spiral. Yeah, I've done it a couple times, but I don't do a lot of commercial work, so I just don't do it. We did a job at the Biltmore downtown Atlanta, one of the oldest hotels in Atlanta.
That's a nice hotel.
And we did spiral in that job.
You know, Atlanta really is one of the most beautiful cities in America.
You know,
when you drive in at night, when you come in at night.
Yep.
On I-20 especially, coming in off I-20.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you get a good view of the city.
I mean, it's just a nice cityscape. It's a nice landscape.
Yeah, once you get north of,
I've been all over the country. I've seen all the cities. So.
Yeah, once you get north of I-20 though, it really is a nice looking, town. The landscape.
Yep. I think there was a city in Illinois. I can't remember what the name of it was. Might have been Champaign. But I was blown away by how beautiful that city was too.
Oh yeah, it's probably not so beautiful in the wintertime though, with all the gray.
Yeah, no, with all the brown snow everywhere.
Yeah. When I joined the Navy and got out of boot camp, it was the end of December, and then when I went to Philadelphia, that's where my school was, and my first view of Philadelphia was coming down, the runway.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just gray, nasty,
Yeah, everything looks old up there, man.
It was awful, and I was like, "What kind of shithole is this anyway?"
Even the damn tree.
That was my first impression of Philadelphia.
That's what I call it, Philadelphia. Everything up there looks old. It just looks. I mean, until you start getting into like Connecticut, and Massachusetts, and it starts looking good again. But up through, I mean, basically everything north of. Basically everything north of Richmond, Virginia, kind of look well. I guess Washington D.C. is pretty, but once you get north of Washington, really, there ain't nothing much to see until you hit New York City, just to see New York City. But you get up into like upstate New York, it's beautiful up there, and then you get up into Massachusetts and Rhode Island. There's a lot of beautiful places up there.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, Philadelphia is it's not a pretty city, man. It just is not, especially coming in on 95.
Well, my first impression was the runway.
Yeah, I mean, like everything just looks old and tired up there. I don't know how to explain it any other way. Like even the trees are like, well, I know I ain't supposed to cuss, but
well, no, I mean, but no, I agree with you.
You know what I mean? It just looks old. I mean, well, it is one of the oldest cities in the nation. I mean,
yeah,
and it's a very populous area.
Yeah, there's a lot of history there.
And believe it or not, man, New Jersey actually has some beautiful areas. But most of New Jersey like seems to be like industrial. A lot of it is, but there's some hidden gems in New Jersey, man.
No, there is. It's once you get out of the cities,
mm-hmm.
It's really.
But there ain't nothing compared to the West, man. The western half of the United States is just gorgeous. You can't beat the scene. There ain't nothing like that out east. I mean, we've got the Appalachians and Blue Ridge, and we've got some nice places out east. And you got like up in Maine, and then of course Massachusetts. And I got to say that so Steve Lab don't beat me up. No, but I mean, going out, my first time out west, man, it was just glorious, man. Glorious. I was just awestruck because there's just nothing like that out east, man. You just don't see landscapes like that out here.
No. What's up, Zach?
What's up, boys?
Hey, Zach.
What's up? Mitch Hedberg.
Hey, guys. Good to see you.
Man, that is a dead-on impression, dude. That's one of the best I've heard. In all honesty, it really is.
Nice.
I wish I could remember more of his stuff.
I was telling Ralph, for Halloween, you should dress up as Mitch Hedberg, and Ralph should dress up as Illy John Roth.
That's nice. We went as when I was a kid. We went as John Lennon and Paul McCartney one year. Pretty good.
Can you do a John Lennon?
You know, I don't know if I ever tried to do John Lennon before. I can remember some of the stuff they said. It's like, we are just a band, really, just a band. You know?
That's not too bad.
No. I've actually tried that before. I can't lie.
Yeah, the
Let's
Mitch
see, what are we
Hedberg
talking
thing.
about?
We're just talking.
Oh, what happened to Eric? I miss him.
You miss Eric?
Yeah, I miss Eric. I shot twice, but I missed. I'm just kidding.
Shot
That's not
twice,
nice.
but you missed. Look, y'all, here's the stop leak stuff. It's still in the jar.
Hey, it's still a liquid.
Still liquid, and it's separated. You can see the water there.
How much would you pay me? How much would you pay me to take a shot of it?
Oh hell!
With no chaser.
It doesn't taste like anything. It tastes just like the water that's in there.
How much of it did you actually swallow?
I just, like I said, I just took a quick sip of it.
Oh, you're still alive, so I guess it's all right.
Yeah. Now this stuff here, here's that other stuff. See, if y'all yeah, there's that other stuff there. That's horrible. I wouldn't look. I could barely stand the smell of that stuff. It wasn't bad, but
looks like that butter left over when you put beans in the fridge.
Oh yeah, that's
if you cook your beans in butter, that is. Of course you do. You're in Atlanta.
Look, I'll touch it now.
We cook everything in butter down here.
Yep. Here's part of it. There's that Schrader core.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good. It's like it's like paper mache kind of the glue and flour or whatever they use.
Yeah. Like when you're a kid in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Plaster of Paris stuff.
Well, I'm not gonna drink it. I'm not. I thought about doing it, but I'm not gonna do it.
It does look tasty.
It does look. I mean, it's nice and blue.
The blueberry.
But the water, like I said, you can see the water there, the clear part. So it's still separated. It's not ever gonna mix with it. Johns Creek. What about Johns Creek? Talking about Amazon parts. Yeah, I couldn't believe he would say that.
Man, yeah, it's crazy.
Let's see. Three Belt, what are you talking about? You're talking about Alpharetta and Johns Creek?
He's talking about you, man.
Let's see. Well,
hey, is the Marietta diner still there in Marietta?
Oh yeah. Well, it's yep, it's still there.
24-hour diner. That place was awesome, man. Well, it's been a long time since
actually, my buddy Harry Dixon is working with them. They're all tied in together.
They worked. I know. I used to work for a Greek guy, and he was friends with them guys down there, and we went down there one time.
Yeah,
and man, usually when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're hungry and you ain't got nothing better to do, you go to Waffle House or something, right? But Marietta Diner, it's like you can get a gourmet meal at 3 o'clock in the morning, man. Or you could back then. I don't know if it's still like that. They got good food.
That guy had to buy the building behind them for the parking lot.
They got money, man. Them Greeks got money, man.
Oh yeah. Let's say, will I ever sell train? Now let me answer that question about train. So yes, the answer would be yes. I would sell train if.
Shut up.
No, wait. If I did not have to deal with the corporate train store. So Marco, Harry doesn't have that restaurant anymore. He was down by the airport, and the rent got too high. So what his dad did was go back to New York, buy a restaurant up there, tear it completely down, and start from the foundation up with a brand new restaurant. So Harry's actually moving back to New York. Sell train with America's Standard logo.
Sell American Standard, right?
Yeah, it's still American Standard, still a train. I was at the American Standard store today, but they're too far away from me.
Oh, how far?
Over an hour.
Oh my gosh.
I had to go over there today to get a evaporator coil.
We got
it's train.
We got a big train warehouse over here right down the road from me, and they still got to wait for parts.
Well, you have to call. Now, I don't know about Ted Cook, but I know me. I have to call the 1-800 number to order anything with train, except for the parts.
What do you have
See,
to
I got
order? The
train-
1-800 number then.
If I need equipment.
Have you ever ordered train equipment?
I had to order a set of heat strips, but I don't have a train equipment account number, so I couldn't order the heat strips.
It took them 2 days to get my compressor right.
Yeah, so I'm not, I don't know.
And they're a train dealer. I mean, that's all they deal with. Well, that's not all they deal with, but that's their main bread and butter is train. And even they couldn't get the damn thing.
Yeah, I could call Ted directly, and he'd hook me up. I know he would. Oh, Ted Cook. Ted's not so bad. He just loves train. And I'd rather do service all day than install. That way I can move from place to place to place to place.
Definitely.
I'm not stuck at one place for too long. Tomorrow I'm going to be at that same house doing that evaporator because I had to do a retrofit on the condensate pump on the mini split I installed several years ago. And so we'd had to change the condensate pump several times because there's a attic right behind this mini split. Well, it actually, like the mini split's here and the attic is here. So I had to put a condensate pump in to get above into the attic. And we've had to change that pump. It's on its third pump now. So
Mini pump?
I got one of those Rector Seal. Huh?
Is it a mini pump?
Yeah, it's a Sourman pump.
All right.
So hold on a second, Comfort. I'll answer that in a second. So I'm putting the Rector Seal, the one that hangs under the unit. So it doesn't have to go into the attic. And as far as the ceiling cassettes, it's just a piece of equipment to me. You know what I mean? It is a little harder to do. Yeah. They had to paint the Johnstone compressor orange.
Is Diversitech a good condensate pump?
Yeah, no.
That's the one I got. So they give me the cheap shit.
No, wait a second. You talking about a main condensate pump for a regular system, or?
Yeah, just a condensate pump. Yeah, coming out of the coil there.
Yeah, and actually, Blue, I hear some people say it takes 5 years to get good at the trade. Do y'all think that's true? No, I don't think that's true. I think either you have it or you don't, and it depends on what you run into. It just depends on what you run into. So, I mean, and trust me, you're always going to learn something even after 10, 20, you're still learning every day because things change.
It's like Steve Lass says, every day's a school day.
Yep. And Marco's right. The normal pumps are okay, but the mini split pumps suck.
They installed a Diversitech Clearview thing out there.
Yeah, no, I've installed that a couple of times.
You got any problems with them?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think I paid like $350 for them to put it in or whatever. So.
Wow.
These guys ain't cheap, man. Like I said, they just cut in a little. They cut in a 14x20 return, 16-inch flex.
Right.
It was $800. So I don't think I'm like I'm definitely not giving the cheap guy the job.
Well, no, and that's that. Like I said, I posted some pictures of a really bad install on Facebook, and
Maybe I should take some pictures of it and get your guys' opinion. I don't know.
And but that guy, when I posted the pictures, and I said this a while ago, when I posted those pictures, everybody said, "Oh, the guy paid, got the cheapest price. He went with the lowest bid." And no, he didn't, because he didn't even bid it out because the company had installed something for him before and did a good job.
Mm.
But this job was just one of the worst I've seen. And he paid a really high price for it.
I think we definitely paid these guys a fair price for the installation and everything.
Let's see. My Heil dealer told me that Heil is the Michelin of the ICP products. They're all the same. Every one of them are the same. The only difference between any ICP or any ICP product is in the communicating, and they just have different model numbers. That's the only difference. So yeah, that's the only difference. Yeah, I was good. I was just getting ready to ask where Zach went. And he said he sent it to the chat for a bit. And,
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get one of them hats.
What, the Cowboys of HVAC hats?
Yeah, I do like the camo. I like both of them. I like the black and the camo, but I'll probably get the camo.
Now, did you the kids saw Spider? Zach got the 409 out after the Spider.
Oh man,
fantastic. Let's see. Now, do you listen to their podcasts?
I'm not really a podcast guy. I basically just stick to YouTube.
Oh, so when the video comes out on YouTube, you listen to it?
Yeah, and when you guys come on there, I usually just subscribe to your guests or whatever.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
Just keep on. You're probably the first HVAC guy I subscribed to, Ralph, and then I've subscribed to several others. I can't remember all their names. Obviously, I'm subscribed to Steve Lav and Johnny Israel.
What about Zach?
I don't think I need to. What is his?
Working Joe's.
I'm subscribed to Working Joe's.
Yeah.
But does he have his own little channel or?
Oh yeah. Zach's been at it for 5. He's been at it just a little bit longer than me.
What's Zach right now? If you know offhand. Oh, I'm already subscribed there then.
Yeah, he used to be Talon 875. And then he changed the name of it. He had a pro channel. And then now it's not a paid channel anymore.
I've seen Zach a long time ago in one of your, I don't know about a long time ago, maybe a year ago or something. I've seen him in one of your hangouts.
Yeah. Working Joe's is a network of channels. Zach is Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He really does do a dead-on impression of him, man. That's a really good one.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. Doug, you're all quiet over there. Why?
I don't know. Usually dark background, sitting in the dark.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's what I'm doing. I'm sitting in the dark. That's why I don't have a camera on. But you guys don't want to see my ugly face anyway.
When in chat.
Well, at least you got a shirt on him like Eric.
Actually, I don't have a shirt on. That's why I'm not on camera. Yeah, that guy, man, just no class at all. Just like, hey, let me go in there and
let's go take some shit over tonight.
I did it as long as I could.
I could tell he was getting on your nerves, and I wasn't really trying to encourage him, but he kept talking like to me. So,
well, that's all right.
I figured you'd put the hammer down on him if he was giving you trouble.
You gotta run that flex.
I was reading the chat. Everybody was giving him a hard time.
I can't see the chat, so I couldn't see what they were saying. So
I mean, yeah, they was really good, and he was reading the chat too, but he was I don't know if he was just ignoring the comments.
Or maybe that's what got him more excited. Maybe
I
he's
was
one of
hoping
those
the
guys.
chat would make him realize that, hey, dude, be quiet. Yeah, he didn't wipe his feet at the door. That's what Jeff said.
He just came in like he owned the place, man.
Yeah.
Ralph said, "Not in my house."
Yeah. All right, Marco. Hey, Marco, one of these days we'll have to meet up. Yeah, I don't know if I could work with a guy like that. I really couldn't. So yeah, that guys like that would just drive me nuts.
Always talking, always talking, always talking, always talking.
They
Never
just know
shut
more
up.
than everybody.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, they just they know more than everybody, and I'm like, dude, come on, you're never gonna know everything.
There's just way too much different jobs and different things out there for anybody to know everything about it. Different systems,
Well,
different everything.
Our industry is changing. You know, it's changing so much.
Is it changing for better or worse?
It depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah, I would say
You'd say worse.
I say both.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're talking about. The technology and the way things are working now, like talking about the inverters, they do a really good job. So that's a great improvement. But the way some of the stuff is made is, the cheaper.
That's always what every big company does out there.
Well, yeah, but
Cheaper,
the
cheaper,
technical
cheaper.
stuff. The Actually, believe it or not, I'm glad the industry's changing and becoming more technical and more regulations. That's the worst part, the regulations. But I'm glad the industry is becoming more technical because that's going to get rid of a lot of guys.
Get rid of a lot of the hacks.
Yeah, get rid of a lot of hacks because they I don't know.
It's technical. Perfect example. Check out Bill McManus, oil heating, on Pros Helping Pros.
Right.
Get his posts. Holy shit. The stuff that he's doing, he like blatantly admits it. Oh, it's not up to minimum code. I don't do that because it kills profits.
Really?
I used used equipment, and he's like repairing boilers that are on the verge of just like
Of dying.
Or this horrendous stuff.
See, I don't understand people like that. I was at the supply house one day and the guy was like, I want to buy all the dry ship units because I don't like 410. And this was just recently, right before the dry ships were being outlawed. He doesn't like 410, so he's like, I'm just gonna buy all the dry ships I can.
Yeah, you would think they'd have some kind of, the supply house would be like, yeah, we're only selling you this many in this period of time, kind of thing.
Let's see. Do I prefer 22 over 410? I don't care. I don't care anymore. I used to be like, well, I'm not going to use any drop-ins. Well, the price of R22 made me reconsider that.
That's one of the reasons why I had the system installed when I did, because the old system was actually running. They got it up and running, but it would cost me like $1,000 to get it fixed, and it was 10-year-old Heil contractor grade.
Right.
And it was R22, and it did have a leak in it, a slow leak. Don't know where it was. Nobody ever diagnosed it, but I guess it was in either the condenser or the coil, because the train system doesn't seem to be leaking at all. At least according to the maintenance techs, the pressures and everything stay pretty consistent. So,
right. Well,
that's one of the reasons why I did, because R22 was going up, and I knew it was going to be astronomical. And I was like, well, I might as well bite the bullet now. Pay now or pay later, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I tell people. It's you're paying it now or you're going to pay it later. So take your pick.
Well,
that's what it is. I'm happy with the system until the compressor failed, obviously. But
yeah.
But it does a better job on the same ductwork, basically. keeps the house. There's no
But-
hot spots in the house. Everything's nice and even. Every
Right.
room you walk into is even. The humidity's usually under 50%. Usually it sits at like 47 to 48. So
And did you just get a 14 seer?
16.
16 seer. Single
Mhm.
stage or two?
I think it says 2-stage.
Oh, well.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean, I can give you the model numbers, and I guess you could tell by that. But
Well, train, right? Well,
it's a variable speed. I know the furnace is variable speed. I don't know about I don't know about a condenser unit.
Yeah.
The XV80 furnace. I've got a XL824 thermostat, and what the hell is the XL16i? I think is what the condenser is.
Stage compressor.
It's what, Doug?
That's a 2-stage compressor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So well, that's why your humidity level is staying down so low.
Yeah. I mean, it does a great job, man. And now with the new return in it, obviously she's breathing better, so she's doing even better now. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, anytime you can have return, you're better off.
Oh
Yeah, I wish they would explain that more to me when they pitched the install, because when he said ductwork, that's not what clicked in my mind.
Right, you were thinking the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew that's be like a $4,000 or $5,000 job just for the ductwork. So I was like, ew. If he would have just said we'd like to add a return, I probably would have said, yeah, go ahead.
Or let's see. I'd be the wrong guy to ask about the flat rate, but there is a Cool Front, I think, is one. There's a couple of different flat rate books you could buy, but if you're by yourself, you can kind of figure out. That's what I did. I just kind of figure out what things cost and kind of made my own flat rate.
Mhm.
So I mean, that's how I do it. I was like, I'm not going to pay $1,500 for a company to tell me how much to charge when I could figure that out myself. But now, if I had a bunch of guys working for me, it'd be different. I'd invest in a flat rate. That way, everybody's kind of consistent with the pricing. I mean, what do you do, Doug?
Time and material normally, but like the call the other day, I had it was a 1989 or 88 Carrier. She said it wasn't cooling, and dead capacitor. Change the capacitor, change the contactor because the ohms were kind of low on that.
Right.
I think the thing has been serviced in probably 20 years.
Yeah, I was on one.
Wow.
3/4 of a pound of refrigerant. That's it.
Well, that's good. I was
awesome.
on one yesterday. It was almost a 30-year-old Carrier. The compressor was wide open, so I had to go tell them. And of course, they didn't have the money, so they went and bought a couple window units last night.
Yeah. Yeah, but if it's in good shape and it's get a couple of years out of it, what the hell?
Yeah, well, but they asked, can we just change the compressor? And I'm like, I'm not going to change the compressor on a 30-year-old unit.
I will not change the compressor in a new unit. I'll just change out the whole stupid thing. It's just easier.
Well, yeah, I did one on an 11-year-old one. Yes, the day before yesterday. It was a ream. It was a rental house. The guy is going to try to sell the house. He lives down in Florida, and so I was like, well, because I tried to get him to buy a new unit. He was like, well, I just I didn't just not been working. I had to go to Ohio to see my mom all the time because she's going to Alzheimer's, and so I'm not working. So I said, well, I don't normally like to do it, but I'll put a compressor in for you to switch it to 407C. And he was like, okay. My Carrier's from 1985. Yeah. Well, hell, you're over 30 years. That's amazing.
Yeah, the last change out I did was that one heat pump from 81.
Mm-hmm. The oldest one I ever did was that one from 1969.
Was it that
It
green
was still
one?
working.
Was it that big
Yeah,
green
it was
one?
still working. Yeah.
But it probably,
It was,
I mean, how high was his power bill, though?
oh, yeah, no. It was, Now I did a dual fuel in that. It did have a single stage 80% propane furnace.
Mhm.
And I did a 2-stage dual fuel, single stage outdoor, but 2-stage on the indoor. And they said they didn't have to buy a whole lot of propane. But I had the outdoor temperature for the heat pump going down to like 35 degrees out.
It was nice and chilly.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about the changeover from when it switches from heat pump to gas.
To run
Oh,
that heat pump as low as you can get it.
Yep, yep. So and they said it really hardly use any gas whatsoever. And that's the only thing in the house that's gas is the furnace.
Nice.
You know, when you got to fill that tank up, you got to buy it all at one time.
You change water heaters too, Ralph?
Do
you
what?
change water heaters too?
I do every once in a while, but if somebody asks me about it, it depends on how busy I am. If I'm busy, I won't do it.
Right.
how long do water heaters usually last? Gas water heaters.
Oh, I don't know. It's 10 years, probably 12 years
Anywhere from
now.
So we're about due to change it out then.
It depends on your water. I mean, mine's 17 years old, still going.
How do you know when it's about to hit the fan?
It'll start making noise, and the water will get the water won't be right. I mean, like right now, I know the dip tube fell off because you could turn on the cold water and you'll get hot water out of it for a couple of minutes, and then it'll finally get cold again.
Really?
Yep.
We'll probably have to get that changed out pretty soon because that's at least 12 years old. This house was built in like late 2004, so yeah.
And if you're on city water and it's decent, they tend to last longer than well water. Well water eats them apart pretty good.
Yeah, our water's not too hard here, so it's not too mineral rich, so it might be all right. I'll have one of the guys take a look at it because I don't know enough about. I'm not tech handy enough about that kind of stuff to.
Usually,
So, you guys ain't got to worry about me going into HVAC trade. It's way too much math over my head, man.
well, I mean, that's all right. It's all right.
If I ever were to get into the trade, I'd probably
Usually when I'm changing them,
I'd be the duct guy or whatever. Guy covered in insulation.
itching.
Itching and sweating. And bitching.
I'm taking boiler ductwork any day of the week.
I don't know what I hate worse, though. Crawl spaces or attics, man. I mean,
It's a tie.
yeah. So I've been in some crawl spaces where, I mean, you're just paranoid when you're under there, man. So you see like eyes in the distance, like you shine your flashlight over and see some eyes staring at you.
Oh, the hell with that.
I went into a customer's house one time down in Georgia and Augusta, and they had a possum up under there. I told the guy, I said, man, I ain't going up in there with no wild possum up under there.
You know what?
I'll come back next week.
I never really had a problem with anything under the crawl.
Other than that, we had one customer, and I don't know why they're all in Georgia and Augusta. This guy I think this guy was a jokester though. But as soon as you open his crawl space door, you've seen this huge long snake skin. And he probably just put it in there to mess with us. I don't know.
I got one of those.
Last week, huge snake skin. The lady's like, "Oh yeah, there's a big snake down there." I was like, "The hell you say?"
I've got one in my attic.
I did have one attic that had wasps in it, and it was a bad attic too because it wasn't like a regular attic where there's a hole and you could just pull yourself up or climb up a ladder. You had to climb over this wall. He had like this big foam padding, on the wall, and you had to actually climb up over that crap and pull yourself up in. And when you got in, you couldn't do anything but lay down and do like an army crawl to get to over where the unit was. It was horrible. And they had wasps right in the entrance.
Ugh.
Luckily though, they were very docile. And I was able to get in and out of there.
They were hot as shit too.
Oh, hell yeah. They don't like being hot. They don't like being cold either. But when they're cold, they can't move too well. So
Should have want some gas.
it wasn't Yellow Jackets though, because Yellow Jackets are about the. I hate them bastards. I don't know what kind of wasp they were. They weren't the nasty wasp though. They weren't those. What do you call those ones with the bald face or whatever they call them? Bald face hornets. Those are probably the worst ones. But there's always spiders and crawl spaces, and I hate spiders. I'm a pussy when it comes to spiders, man.
They don't bother me.
Yeah, spiders don't bother me. Snakes I'm scared the shit out of.
Yeah.
Well, you guys got them freak spiders the size of a chihuahua down there.
Oh, we know. I had one customer one time that had black widows up under the crawl space. And there ain't you don't mistake a black widow, man. There ain't no mistaking those bad boys.
Now we find them suckers a lot. I've been bit by one poisonous spider because my arm swelled up to like a softball size.
Might have been a brown recluse.
You know, it probably was. We get a little bit of those too.
I know they go in and just the first thing I'm taking a broom and I'm brooming everything off.
I grab a stick out in front of me. I'm waving a stick out in front of me like some kind of those guys who try to find water with a stick in the middle of nowhere. That's what I look like.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. What do they call that? They got a special name for that stick. I can't remember what they call it.
I don't know. I was thinking divining rod, but that's not right. Is that it?
It is a divine rod.
Divining rod. Yeah.
Yeah. My dad showed me that when I was a kid, and it was amazing to me because he had that little stick, and then the thing went down.
Does it really work?
Yeah, it worked.
So the wood always knows where the water is, huh?
I guess.
Is that why my guitar neck is warping?
Must be. And it doesn't have to be any special limb either. No special tree or anything. It just does it.
Interesting. I always thought that was like a wives' tale or something.
No, it works.
I wish there was a way like that to find gold or something.
Yeah, I wish.
I guess metal detector, but
there's plenty of it here.
I really should get a metal detector and go in my backyard because we kind of live right in a valley and all the water drains in our backyard.
Yeah.
And when it rains real heavy, we get like a little river back there.
Yep.
I bet there probably is some stuff back there, man.
Can a metal detector detect gold?
Yeah, you can get some that will, yeah. I don't know if they all will, but I know some of them will.
Yeah.
Gold and silver.
That's interesting. I don't know if it worked off because they're not magnetic. I don't know if that's how they detect it.
I don't know how they work.
Well, they find aluminum cans and pop tops from cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's ways to filter a lot of that junk out.
There is. It just depends on the I don't know. I have one. I had to buy one because we were looking for the gas line.
How do they find gas? And how does that stuff work when they find the gas?
There's a tracer, a wire tracer.
So they run it along the pipe or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering how they do that.
Yeah, no, if you look at the gas meter, there's a wire coming up out of the ground, and that's the tracer.
Oh, okay. So there's no voodoo involved in that?
Huh?
There's no voodoo involved. It's just...
No.
Okay.
And then the guys that come out and look for the utilities, that's what they use when they're waving that thing around. It's pretty much like a metal detector. They find the wire, the tracer.
Right on. Yeah, I was thinking about doing cutting in a French drain myself. And that's why we went with that condensate drain. Not because we had any real issues with it, but we wanted to reroute where the water was coming out because it was, that unit pumps out a lot of water, man.
Right.
And it was kind of like turning that side yard into mud. So I just wanted to reroute it. That's why we had the condensate put in, because that was the easiest way to reroute it. But I was before I came up with that idea, I was thinking about doing a French drain. I was like, yeah, I guess I got to call them guys and make sure I don't dig into anything.
Well, I I know you're probably not supposed to do it, but I always hook the pump up to a plumbing drain.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, I just drill a hole, put a threaded barb fitting into it, and just pump it right into it.
They just drilled a hole into the soffit and put it right outside of the house. They come down the drain, the gutter drain.
Oh yeah.
Just ran it right alongside that.
Yeah, if you're does your gutter have a pipe underground?
No, it comes out right on the side of the house. It's just got a little splash pad there.
Oh yeah.
But that was the easiest way to take care of that without me breaking my back. And
I wouldn't do it.
yeah.
Some of these houses I go to, and I'm sure the rest of the guys are like that too, when the houses are like right and the sun never shines there, but the drain line comes out right there by the air conditioner, it's always a swamp.
Yeah, that's how it is. But you know, one good thing about it though, it probably kept the dust out of the condenser.
Well, yeah.
But I don't think
the mosquitoes.
That spine fin coil hasn't been cleaned yet. It hasn't needed to be.
How old is it?
It was installed it's 2 years, just a little over 2 years. 2 years and 1 month.
Yeah.
I mean, we pay for the maintenance to come out, but they haven't actually cleaned it yet because they said don't need it. And I look at it and I believe them because when you look down in there, you can see right through it. I do want to ask you guys one question about that. Shouldn't you take the housing off when you clean the coil?
Yeah.
All right, I'll make sure they do that when they do actually clean it. Because I know one guy was like just spraying a hose.
Depends on how good the guy is.
What does that mean?
If you're like me, you don't have to take it apart.
Well, Ralph uses the coil gun, so I mean that's what he likes.
No, I don't.
Can't get enough of the coil gun. He just loves the coil gun.
Yeah, I have one.
I just want to make sure they do it right. That's all.
Yeah, I have a coil gun hanging up in my little shed out there.
What? Do you still have it?
Yeah, I still have it.
You should give that away.
I should.
Yeah, that's great.
It came all the way from John Israel. Sent it to me.
Yep, never had coil cleaner in it, huh?
No, it had. I tried it once or twice.
Oh.
I didn't like it. I used too much coil cleaner.
Yeah, mine broke and I stopped using it.
I just used my pump up.
Yeah, that's what I use. Just like a garden sprayer.
Yeah.
That new Calgon stuff is nasty stuff, man.
Man, yeah, that's right.
Can't drink
I
that.
would never use Calgon.
That's what PureTech used, or that's what that techs use that I work with. I cleaned a couple coils back in the day, but I wouldn't clean my own shit because I'd fuck it up. I know one thing, the coil thing, the coil cleaner will strip the damn paint off. That's another reason why I don't want them to do it with a cover up, because I don't want my unit looking all ghetto and paint missing off of it.
Yeah, I turned a Goodman unit silver that one time with a coil cleaner.
You talking about that sign right there? That one right there. Aircraft One from YouTube made that for me.
What?
The sign.
Which sign?
The one behind me.
Oh, I see it now.
That is an awesome man cave, man.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I hardly ever come out here.
Yeah, his whole life is a man cave.
It is now since the X is gone.
Yep. He got a man cave life. Georgia is his man cave.
I need to actually put the one that my son made for me. Actually, let me go get that thing. That's a really cool sign.
Let's see it.
Hold on. I'm going to go into the kitchen and get it. I'll be back.
All right,
Look
go in
at
the
that.
kitchen.
Look, I'm walking to the house and you can still hear me.
You got a little wireless.
Say something.
Hello, Zach.
Yeah. All right, keep going.
I'm actually.
No. You're breaking up.
I can hear you.
Breaking up. We can't hear you.
Oh.
He just said he loved Goodman.
He does love Goodman. No, that's not going to be offensive to him enough. I think of something else. Ralph hates Goodman.
Don't all you guys hate Goodman?
Ralph likes Goodman.
I don't mind Goodman.
Oh God, you're back already? I thought we had more time to talk shit about you.
Nah.
Ralph loves Ford.
What?
Yeah, we try to get Ralph in these polarizing conversations.
Hey, I'm not as passionate about it as John is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, then again, nobody is.
Yeah, John's pretty passionate about it. Let's see if I can go far enough.
He feels pretty strong about stuff.
Can y'all see that?
Hold it up.
Yeah, John Israel don't hold back. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Can you
Where's
see
it at?
that?
Yeah. It needs to stay on one thing for more than half a second.
Yep.
Yeah, it keeps going to this. There it goes. Yeah, that is nice.
Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it?
Yeah, that's really
He
nice.
did that
Yeah.
yeah, and he just did a double back thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I need to find a place to hang it up.
Did you ever get him a phone after you shot his phone up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bunch of
got
make believe.
Oh, he deserves a better phone after that. That's for sure.
Yeah. We had a good time with that one.
That was
Looks
a
like
traffic
he's-
guide box.
Looks like he's got that paying attention to detail gene from you.
Oh yeah, he really because he's taking computer engineering in school, but he joined the mechanical engineers program.
Nice.
Built his car, and he made that sign for me in their shop.
So he's not going to follow in Dad's footsteps.
Well, nah, he's smarter than that.
He wants to actually design the units, not work on them, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna put some LEDs in there too. Yeah, it'll be cool. I just got to find a place to put it. My wall space is getting to a minimum.
Put a little addition.
I hate to. Yeah, put an addition. I might take that sign and move it somewhere else, and then put the one that you made me, if I can cover up the screw holes. Let's see.
Was that stainless?
No, it's aluminum. It's aluminum. So
Aluminium.
no, it's not gonna hit the screw hole.
Just put the one on top of the other one.
Well, there's no room up there
Screw through the second one to anchor the first one.
like that.
No, lower.
It actually did kind of look good there.
There you go, right there.
It actually does kind of look good like that, yeah.
Looks like 3-dimensional deal now.
Maybe a little bit lower, just a hair lower.
Yeah.
It actually does look good like that, though.
Could you hold it to the
Well,
left a little bit?
Man, shut up, Zach.
All right. Sorry about that.
It actually does look good like that, though.
Yeah, but I hate to mess Fred's sign up you made me.
Just
You know what I
bond it on there.
Yeah.
Where's he at, I wonder?
Who, Fred?
Aircraft, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I gotta figure.
He likes
Couldn't you-
reflecting.
Couldn't you use like some Gorilla double-sided tape or something? Some really strong double-sided tape?
I don't know. I'd hate for that thing to fall and mess up my paper bag floor.
Oh my gosh. Come on, Nancy.
Or you
Get
could
over-
probably, well, I don't know, that might bend it. You could probably hang it from a hook, though, from that
Yeah, I can do
cut in there.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Whatever I do is gonna have a blue like somebody said, blue LED. The blue LED, and then mount it, or like my Sportland sign there.
That really is a cool little man cave, though.
Yeah,
I think every man should have one.
I like it.
It should be
Like the
Yeah,
whole
decorated.
house, is my man cave.
it should be our rite of passage.
Yeah, my whole house is a look, and I even have the. Well, let's see, the General Lee over there.
Yeehaw!
There you go. See it.
Uh,
Love the General Lee. I had to buy that before they outlawed it.
I grew up on Dukes of Hazzard, man. Love that shit.
I don't understand. I was watching the video, and they had a car show, and the General Lee was at the car show, and this woman was giving this guy a hard time, telling him to get rid of that car.
Oh.
Just get rid of that car.
People think everything is political now. Everything's people are just stupid.
I'd tell you over the phone what I'd say.
Do what, Doug?
I'd tell you over the phone what I'd say about her, but not over this.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Those guys, they were taking what she was saying, but she was like, I'm going to post this live on Facebook, and you're going to have a bunch of people down here, and, we're going to demonstrate. And it's just like, shut the hell up.
Ooh, a demonstration.
Yeah.
What are they going to demonstrate?
They're going to demonstrate to General Lee because of Confederate flag.
Demonstrate their stupidity.
It's a movie car.
Wouldn't mind having that car.
I know. One of these days.
I get the cops to chase me down a dirt road, jump over like a barn.
What red-blooded man wouldn't want to do that?
I'm actually
crash it through a barn.
I'm gonna buy me a General Lee. I'm gonna find one. I'm gonna buy it.
The new Chargers don't exactly look like generally.
No, they don't.
Midlife crisis.
Nah.
Nah, he already bought the Mustang. He had that covered.
Yeah, but I got rid of.
Hey, you grew even older. You're past the midlife now.
Yeah. Yeah, the General Lee would be cool to have.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
It's just a nice car. You know what I mean?
It is. Them old classic cars, man. It is a gorgeous car, especially that year.
It is. It really is. Hell, I'd drive it down to the hood in Atlanta.
You might not make it out, but my first car was a '74 Type LT Camaro, man. The canary yellow with the black vinyl top.
Yeah.
It was sweet, man.
My first truck was a 1973 Chevrolet Rust Bucket. But that's all right. It had 4 wheels, and it would take me where I was going.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, getting rid of that car was the best thing I ever did because that car got me in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
When you got that much horsepower under your feet and you're young and dumb and full of cum and stupid, you see a hot chick at the intersection or something like that. You know how that goes, fellas.
Yeah, I know. I pulled up the intersection. And my mom's at 323. The lady, could you keep driving, please? Okay. All right. Sorry about that, lady.
Well, it's not like mine was like fully decked out or anything. It was my dad bought it for me for graduation or whatever, and it was like $3,000. It was fixed up a little bit. And, I mean, the engine in it though. I mean, the drivetrain in that thing was absolutely solid though.
That's all that matters.
It looked good too. I mean, it had a decent paint job. The interior was pretty shitty, but the rest of it was awesome.
Yeah, but I think that what year was it? 74?
74 Type LT.
Yeah, I think my favorite year Camaro was 68, 69.
Yeah, the 68 and 60. Yeah, it's definitely a different body style than those. But I am a big fan of the 68 too.
Yeah, and actually, when he got around 70, like the Bandit car, that I like that body style too.
What's Smokey and the Bandit?
Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am.
Yeah.
Trans Am kicks so much ass.
They're like tanks though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at a customer's house and he found one in a parking lot, and it had a yellow sticker from the cops on it. And he kept watching this car for like 2 weeks. And so finally he figured out who owned this car, and he paid him $1,200 for this car. $1,200. He's a young guy, didn't have any way to repair the car. I mean, it needs a lot of work. I was like, I can't believe you bought that thing for $1,200.
Nice.
And he's a body guy too.
Damn it! Is he restoring it or?
It's in his garage.
It's parked somewhere else.
Yeah,
future project.
Yeah, future project. It's one of you buy stuff and you have all the expectations of fixing it up.
Hopefully the cat will drive by and pick it up.
Yeah.
Buying a dream.
Yeah, and the wife is like, "Hey, what are you gonna do with this thing? I'm tired."
Oh, that's what it is. The wife. Yeah, that's why he has done. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
The boss.
Yeah.
Keep that piece of shit out of the yard and hide it.
But I gotta go buy my $500 shoes.
Yeah, he's a body shop guy. You know what I mean? So he shouldn't have a problem with fixing up.
Yeah.
No classics. Subaru WRX. That's a pretty sweet car too, chat guy. A rally car. It's a rally time.
Drifted.
I sold those for a little while.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Subaru.
Subaru.
Hell, my son loves his little Ford Fiesta.
Oh, those are tiny, man.
They're tiny, but he's got this little sucker fixed up, and it'll move.
My ex-girlfriend had one of those. It was like riding in a tin can down the road.
Yeah.
But I guess if he's got it fixed up. But they are tiny, though. I'm just like...
Yeah, he loves it, man. He really does.
He's tiny too, though.
Yeah. They got a big... Hey, look, I didn't understand what kind of groups. I mean, they have big following.
And all the Ricer cars and everything. Now little Hondas and everything, yeah.
Yeah. Ness said he'll blow past them in his Ford Fiesta.
It's amazing how much horsepower they get out of them things now.
Yeah.
How you get all that horsepower in that little tiny frame? But they do it though.
Yeah, they got them 4 cylinders now with 300 horsepower.
I just don't like the way they sound, man. I like a big V8, man.
Yeah, but it's that goes along with the age, because that age group doesn't like the V8 sound.
I do, man. I love it, man. You can't beat it.
I like it too. I like the,
No,
Yeah,
I
man.
totally agree. But a lot of those young kids, they don't like that muscle car sound.
They do perform though. I mean, a lot of times they'll outperform a muscle car.
Oh yeah.
But it's just not manly. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like a little girl running down the road with a little pink Honda.
Yeah.
Doing 180.
Yeah. I can't imagine why that vehicle 180. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Sound like the damn Jetsons car.
Yes.
Saw PT Cruiser HVAC repair guy in Seattle. You know what? I was at a Johnstone one day, and a guy was in a little Mini Cooper, and he had that sucker. I was like, dude, I wish I had the picture of it, because he let me take a picture of the back of it. He was proud of it. He had it all fixed up, and he was like, dude, this thing gets like 30-something miles to the gallon, and has everything I need in it.
But does it get the girls though?
Well, little, the little.
That's what it's all about, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Depends on how much they weigh.
Well, at least they got the horsepower to carry them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he enjoyed his little Mini Cooper.
You can drive that in the house, actually.
Yeah.
That's what them guys did in the Italian job. They just drove right down the hallway.
Yep. So right to the bank.
I mean, those kind of cars make sense, like over in Europe when they got such tiny roads everywhere. But over here in America, man, we got everything wide open. Why are we having tiny cars now? That don't make any sense.
We still got it. We do. I mean, I don't know. I'm happy with my big V8 work truck, and
Gas guzzler.
yep.
Mine too.
Yep, gets about 10.5 miles to the gallon.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Damn, that's worse than a rig.
It is. It's 10.5 miles to the gallon. But when I went to pick up that coil, I took my Colorado, which gets about 23. So,
Those Colorados are nice.
yeah, I actually do enjoy that little truck.
Hell, my box truck gets 12 miles to the gallon.
Your box truck, that's horrible when my damn 6.0 Chevrolet gets 10.5 and your box truck gets 12.
Yeah, and that thing weighs 12,000 pounds.
Yeah, you got a few pounds on me.
You like Steve Lav? I like Steve. I like Steve Lav's truck. I like that thing. Nice.
Oh, it's fixed up for sure. He's got more parts than Home Depot.
But it's really smart the way he's got it laid out in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's the same style.
You got it fixed up kind of like Steve's?
It came when I bought it. It had all kinds of shelving and shit built in it, so it's I got a lot of stuff in it. But you get like a 2x2 box, the shelves are all, you know, like 23, so a lot of stuff just misses it.
Oh man. But most of the time you can lean it. I mean, set it like at an angle.
Yeah,
It
I'll
can go anywhere.
cut the box off or something like that, and I'll put it in there.
Yeah, yeah.
But just kind of stuff like that is annoying.
Yeah, but you got plenty of floor room if you need it, though.
Right. And then I got my other truck, the F350, and that's got the long bed on it with the crew cab.
Wow. The F350.
That's 18 miles to the gallon too.
Jesus.
Diesel, baby.
Yeah, but now what's your box truck? Is it what brand is it?
It's a 91 Chevy P30.
Ah, see, so you have a Ford and a Chevy.
Yeah, but I only bought that because it had the diesel was technically Detroit built,
Right.
and GM didn't build the body. Utilimaster built the body.
Detroit's are pretty bulletproof engines, man.
Yeah, the thing has absolutely no balls, but it goes.
Yeah, no balls, but it'll probably outlive us.
Well, it's only got 178,000 on it.
Wow. Hell, my truck got more than that. It's got 215, 220, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I bought it. It was sitting on the side of a garage with the tires flat and about a foot sunk in, about a foot into the ground. So, inside there was no water, no bugs. So I hooked it up to the other truck to see if I can get the engine to crank over. I'm like, all right, it's free, so $1,000
Wow.
to eat that.
Can't be
No,
done
hell
with a
no.
stick.
Wow. I got to share this thing on Facebook. Sorry, y'all. This guy pulled a damn snake out of the toilet. I mean, this thing was going up in the. Oh, I just shared it on Facebook. Pretty cool.
That's Steve Lab's worst nightmare, ain't it?
That would be my worst nightmare.
I saw that video where he went to that customer and he pulled out the toilet wouldn't flush, and he had to pull the toilet and it had turkey bones in it or something.
Oh yeah.
He was furious.
Yeah.
Who the hell throws turkey bones down their toilet?
I don't know.
Ugh.
People are nuts.
That's a special kind of stupid right there.
Well, y'all, I said an hour ago I was going to close this thing off at midnight. So,
Has it been an hour already? Yeah, I guess it has. Holy moly.
10 till 1.
Well, it's been fun chatting with you, gentlemen. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, I'm going to close off and start again here in just a couple hours.
Well, have a good night.
All right, y'all be careful.
Stay cool.
Yep.
Later,
man.
All right, let me figure out how to. There you go. Later, y'all. Have a good time.
See ya.